Hello subscribers, welcome back to another brand new video from the Flaming Profits YouTube channel. Thanks for joining today's video. We will be discussing the best job you can have as a teenager and as an adult without a college degree. So I've personally worked this job for 3 years, and I'm very glad that I did this because that is how I accumulated my first $20,000. Without this job, it wouldn't have had been possible. And I am honestly very surprised that other people work lower paying jobs that pay less than $20 an hour when they could just be working this one and actually make $20 an hour or more. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the Flaming Profits YouTube channel. Trust me, you do not want to miss any content from this channel. We are all about improving your financial life, and this is one of the most important subjects for anyone to pay attention to. Focusing on finances allows you to spend more time with your family. In the future, you will have a greater quality of life, especially with passive income, which I talk a lot about in this channel. Also, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this type of videos. Let's get this video to 20 likes, and my short-term goal is to reach 200 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button so that you get notified as soon as I release brand new videos every single day. So you guys have seen my investments, my profits that I make consistently. Like this was Activation, $335.40 profit, and then $66 on a day trade. This occurred in one single day from investing in Facebook. And then the next one I'm going to show you is $489.44 on a Tesla swing trade. So all of these investments wouldn't have had been possible if I didn't have a good amount of cash accumulated. And because of this job that I had, I was able to accumulate enough money to be able to make these profits. But the most important thing is learning how to invest in the beginning. Having more money to invest in doesn't necessarily make you a more profitable investor, but it definitely adds on to the skill that you have. So if you have a good investing decision, then your profits will increase with more money, and vice versa as well. So I'm going to release this number one job for teenagers. Alright, get ready. 3, 2, 1. So it is a restaurant server. Yes, you heard me right, and I'm speaking from experience. So basically a restaurant server, let me explain. First of all, most jobs pay you an hourly wage, meaning every hour you make a certain dollar amount. I've always had an issue with this because they're paying you for your time. The longer you work, the more they pay you. What do most employees do if they get paid hourly? They spend the longest time possible doing the smallest things and spend hours and hours away from their children, their families, to make ends meet. What I love about working for tips is I get compensated for my effort. If I went above and beyond, which I did with my quality of service, paying attention to small details and what makes a great dining experience for my guests, then I always got compensated for that very generously by the guest. This job also involves sales, another aspect that I absolutely love. Suggested tips are based off 15 to 20% of the check. So as long as you push for the sales for the most expensive plates, desserts, appetizers, obviously with them saying yes, your check average was much higher than ordinary, which suggested a higher tip dollar amount. The problem with getting paid hourly is that sometimes you do a way better job than other employees, but this makes no difference in your compensation. Working for tips allows you to make more money, and it goes up over time because you simply get better at the skills involved with your job. And this can also be a bad thing if you're not the type of person that is motivated, who likes doing what they do, who is motivated by making sales, by giving great customer service, because this can actually backfire on you. Since you're so dependent on tips, you can actually make very little money if you don't push yourself to learn. So as long as you give good customer service and you constantly improve and you have that passion to make the extra money, if you want to do the minimum work necessary, then an hourly job might be better for you. But let me give you an example of how I was making $20 an hour with this server restaurant job. So I would have about 3 to 4 tables at the same time. My tips differed a lot depending on the check average of each table, but I always seem to get around the 18 to 20% range of the check. If I had 3 tables, I would at least get $7 per table, and this would end up being around $21. And it would take about an hour for a table to finish eating. So all 3 tables would take an hour to finish eating. So in that 1 hour, I took care of 3 tables. Each paid me $7, so I was able to make $21 an hour, and then comes the next round of guests, which adds to this. Sometimes I had 4 or more tables during peak times, which led to me having much higher tips. Working for tips gives you the opportunity to make more than what a normal employer will pay you, which will range around $10 to $15 an hour for an average job without a college degree. This obviously differs depending on your area, but being compensated for your efforts and the quality of service you provide gives you the opportunity to make not what your employer ranks the value you will give the business. So most employers pay you. The way they decide your hourly wage is they give a price to how much value you provide to the company, and that's what determines your hourly wage. The more value you can provide to the employer, the higher your hourly wage. The lower service you can provide to the company, the lower the value, the lower your hourly pay rate. So with this type of job, your employer doesn't rank the value you will give to the business, but instead your guest is the one that determines the price for the quality of your service, which can be improved over time as well, so you can make more tips on the long run. From this experience, now I personally find it very difficult to work hourly. This experience made me realize that I don't want to be paid for my time. I want to be paid for my results. Because I am an overachiever, my performance is much higher, and I know that I can bring much more value than what an employer classifies me as from the first glance. And you definitely don't have to start out being a restaurant server. There's many other tip-related jobs, such as a busboy, valet driver. Some restaurant hosts get paid with tips as well. And there's also a sales job, which honestly I would recommend a sales job way more because these are commission jobs, which lead to higher profits in the long run. And if you do not have a college degree or a teenager working hourly, I would highly recommend you consider being a restaurant server. It's a very good job because you can get good money fast. You only have to work like 2 or 3 days and you make what a typical person makes in a week if you work busy nights. And it also helps working for an expensive restaurant. Try to work for the place that has the most expensive plates because these usually lead to higher check averages. So I hope I brought value to every one of you, and I hope some of you take this advice and decide to change jobs to a tip-related job because honestly, if you're the type of person that's motivated by making more money, you can definitely be really successful in this type of environment where you get compensated based on your efforts. The more effort you put into it, the higher the profits you make. And being a server makes you increase your social skills as well. I never thought I would be speaking to people this much, and I was honestly very shy of this, but it definitely has opened me up. It made me a lot better person and developed my social skills. So thank you all so much for joining me in today's video. This is the Flaming Profits YouTube channel in case you're new. I'd highly encourage you to subscribe so that you don't miss any brand new videos every single week, and hit the bell notification button so that you are the first one to get notified as soon as I release brand new videos. Thank you all so much. Let me know what you thought of this video. Have you ever worked as a server? How much money did you make? Let me know of your guys' experiences. Thank you all so much. I'll see you on the next.